All right, good day, everybody, and welcome to Headline Hits with LW. Today is Thursday, May the 5th, 2022. And don't forget our sponsors of Headline Hits, all three of them this week that support LWN, all of our Patriots out there. Mike Lindell, My Pillow. You can buy My Pillow merchandise, which I have my slippers on right now, and I love them. So you can go to mypillow.com and use promo code LWN and save up to 66%. Don't forget, silver is under $23 an ounce right now. Great time to buy silver. You can do that at Miles Franklin. They have some of the best service out there, in my opinion. So, info at milesfranklin.com and use the promo code Liberty Warrior Nation. Andy and his team will definitely take care of you. I tried to order some yesterday, and they're set and ready to go to lock me into price today. So I'm pretty excited about that. And last but not least, that Patriot owned company out there that has 97% of what they sell made right here in America. And you guys can check that out at lwnfliptheswitch.com for more information. All right, let's get to the headlines because I got some disturbing stuff to talk about this morning. And some of it is going to make you cringe. Let's just say that. All right. Let's talk about China and what China is doing to their citizens. But this point that I want to make this morning is what the citizens are fighting back. So, China launches a witch hunt against dozens of Beijing companies defying the lockdown rules. Chinese Communist Party officials in charge of Beijing's district publicly named 45 local businesses on Monday that allegedly violated the city's anti Chinese sickness measures in recent days. The Southern Chinese Morning Post, the SCMP, reported on Tuesday, and they went in to list restaurants that are offering inside dining, which is against their restrictions, shops that and their staff that are not within 6 feet of their customers, just all kinds of things that the citizens of China are saying, you know what, we've had enough of this, and they're standing up. So the reason why I brought this article up this morning is I want to ask you this question: the American citizen, if China, in a communist country, if their citizens are standing up to their government, why the heck are not more American citizens standing up to America's government and their restrictions? That's my question for this Thursday. All right, here's something that'll make you cringe. I want you to listen to this article very, very closely. Teachers brag about LGBTQ indoctrination. My classroom is one of the gayest places probably on the planet. That's what this teacher said. Disturbing videos on TikTok show teachers bragging about how in they in oh man, how they have these classroom discussions on sexual orientation and gender identification. Now listen to me here. They're putting this out there on TikTok. I'm not making this up. The teachers are actually saying this. Now, TikTok is one of those places where a lot of people are now, especially the younger generations. You're talking junior high, high school, early 20s. A lot of these teachers that I see on these TikTok videos are in their early 20s. So they just graduated an indoctrination school themselves, which is called college. And now they're going to the public schools at elementary levels, and they're indoctrinating our children. So let's read a little bit more on this headline here. While it's not known what grade cohorts these people who claim to be teachers preside over, some proudly talk about the need to introduce sexualized content to children as young as 3 years old. Wow. Don't you have to be about 5 years old, 5 to 6 years old to get into kindergarten? And they're talking to 3-year-olds, which would be pre-K, preschool, right? Kids as young as 3 and 4 years old are actually aware of their gender identity, one of them explained. They're very aware of who they like and who they don't like. They are very much ready for these topics and are way more accepting than adults when it comes time to discuss these topics. Listen to what she just said. They're way more accepting than adults. Well, of course they are. They're 3 years old. They have no idea what you're talking about. At 3 years old, they probably do know what a boy and a girl is. That's not impossible for a 3-year-old to understand what a boy and girl is. But these are people that we're putting in charge of our kids, folks, our grandchildren. Research says that there are no age too young to talk about pretty much anything, said a man who appeared to be an educational official giving a lecture to colleagues. If they know about it, they are ready to learn about it. End quote. All right. This is the headline that I told you should make you cringe because that is absolutely inappropriate and disgusting. And this TikTok video that I see, this person, in my opinion, really looks like one that I would not want educating my child. And she's happy. She's happy about it. I'm going to end the headline with this. My classroom is one of the gayest places probably on the planet, end quote. All right, next headline. Let's talk about Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley introduces bill to dissolve Biden's disinformation board. You know, a lot of people say nothing going on, nothing's going to change. I'm telling you, there are a few people out there, in my opinion, that are fighting the good fight. The problem is they need more support. So when we find somebody like this who seems to want to stand up to tyranny, man, the people and the citizens of Minnesota, I'd rush to back this guy. I'd rush in there and support him, send him email after email saying, "Great job. Thank you for standing up for my liberties and my rights." Senator Josh Hawley, a Republican from Minnesota this week, introduced a bill designed to dissolve the Biden administration's disinformation guidance board, deeming it unconstitutional in nature. Biden's so-called disinformation board is unconstitutional and must be dissolved immediately, Hawley said in a statement, deeming the newly created board nothing short of censored committee vested with the full powers of the federal government to monitor dissenting speech, opposing viewpoints under the guise of national security. What does that word guise mean? That means under disguise. So they're disguising it as national security, that free speech is a security threat. And when we have opposing viewpoints, or if we say things that the left doesn't like, then they classify us and they profile us as extremists. And that's why they created this board. The American people need a full accounting of who signed off on this board and who approved such a radical anti-free speech activist to lead it. And I agree with that statement. I think we need to find out who is putting this board together. And I say to you, the American citizen, if we find out that any of your state representatives or your congressmen or women support this board, you guys need to get them out of office immediately. That's my opinion. All right, let's hit a next headline here. This is something that made me pretty emotional as I started reading it. So I apologize if I choke up when I'm reading the statement. I think I'll be fine with it. But this is something very important. It talks about Roe v. Wade. All right. My life has value. Pennsylvania state candidate Kathy Barnett talks about being conceived. This is pretty graphic, so I'm going to throw the disclaimer out there. Probably should before I started reading the headline, but this is pretty graphic. So if you do have children in the room, I caution you. Some of the words that I'm going to use next, I probably wouldn't have my young ears listening to this. So I'll just pause for a quick minute and then I'll reread that headline. I didn't think about it, but I apologize for that. So disclaimer, Pretty graphic stuff coming up. My life has value. Pennsylvania state candidate Kathy Barnett talks about being conceived in rape. Kathy Barnett, a Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania, released a powerful video Tuesday in which she was conceived in rape when her mother was just at the age of 11. Spurred by the intense reactions over the Supreme Court leak signaling the end of Roe versus Wade, Barnett affirmed her life has value, despite having the byproduct of a tragic act of violence. I am a byproduct of rape. My mother was 11 when I was conceived, she tweeted. In the world the left desires, I would never be born. We need leaders with a steady hand to direct our nation through these difficult discussions. Now, the reason why I brought this article up, I won't read any more into it. You guys can catch it on Breitbart if you care to know more about Miss Barnett. It's a pretty difficult thing to put out there about your life. But she's a strong woman. She's a patriot. She's God-fearing, God-loving. And that would be a hard thing to put out there, that you were conceived that way. But, God doesn't make mistakes. There's a lot of things that happen in people's lives for certain reasons. And I truly believe that this woman was conceived for this moment in time, that she will become Pennsylvania's next U.S. Senate representative. And she was conceived for that exact moment in time. And that's where we're at today. So kudos to you, Miss Barnett. Good luck to you. All right, let's talk about this poll that is the next headline. I found it very interesting, and listen to where it comes from, because they don't put polls like this out. CNN, Communist News Network poll. Only 2% of Americans believe Biden's economy is, quote, very good, end quote. Only 2% of Americans believe Joe Biden's economy is very good. A CNN, Communist News Network poll released on Wednesday revealed. By contrast, a total of 77% believe Biden's economy is poor, the highest mark in a decade. 47% say the economy remains somewhat poor, while 30% said it was very poor. The poll also revealed the economy is the number one issue for Americans by 36 points, 50%. Subsequent issues followed: Ukraine war at 14%, immigration at 10%, global warming at 9%, racial unrest at 5%, the sickness at 5%, and education ending the poll at just 4%. The amount of people who praised Biden's economy as very good is at an all-time low for the president. In August, the number of respondents who said Biden's economy was very good was 3%. Yeah, 3%. Dropped 1% in May, down to 2%. 2% mark in May is the lowest mark since Barack Obama's 2014 economy. Boom. Mic drop. How do you like that, big ears? All right, last headline of the day. I believe this last headline is going to give God the opportunity to show us his movement across the planet. What am I talking about? Let's hit the headline. Global food crisis, perfect storm of world hunger thanks to the Ukraine war, the Ukraine crisis, and the pandemic could starve millions. Millions are at risk of starvation thanks to the pandemic and the ongoing war in Ukraine. both of which have helped create a perfect storm for global food crisis. Experts have warned that millions of people across the world are on the brink of starvation thanks to the perfect storm of global food crisis. A report by the Global Network Against Food Crisis, a multinational organization founded by the European Union, as well as various United Nations bodies, found that in 2021, represented by the worst year of world hunger, but that the things could soon get a whole lot worse thanks to the wide variety of ongoing geopolitical problems. According to the organization's annual global report of food crises, 193 million people face an acute food insecurity in 2021, which they define as being in a state where a person's food intake is so low as to put their lives and livelihoods in immediate danger. By a far, single largest cause of this food insecurity last year was conflict, while the issue of economic shocks and climate change came as a very distant second and third place causes, respectively. Why am I bringing this up? Well, we talk about it here at LWN all the time, the food crisis here and all across the world. We talk about food processing plants here in America that suspiciously are catching fire, exploding, planes hitting them, chickens having to be destroyed, turkeys being destroyed, maybe a recall on cattle, food, all kinds of things that are contributing to this perfect storm. Well, as far as me, LW, I'm going to go ahead and keep my faith in the Lord. I do believe in miracles and I do believe in being self sufficient. We talk about it all the time here at LW. When they say, quote, hell on earth, end quote, I say it's a great opportunity for God to show us his greatness. All right, that's headline hits for today, folks. We'll catch you tonight on Ladies of Liberty at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. God bless. Much love. We'll see you next week.